For the birds. Something has pried open the body of this hare, unpicked a seam from between the stilled hind legs to the middle of the slackened grey belly. Now the two sides of the wound part slowly, like a mouth widening as it comes on the right word, or that neat tear in the half-obscured lower thigh at the centre of the theatre, in Ekins's The Gross Clinic, where, as I remember it, the owl-eyed surgeon seems so unmoved by the thick scarlet globules that glisten like cheap lipstick on his thumb, and the anguish a mother buries in her dress sleeve as he explains precisely how he will poke a scalpel into tendon, muscle, bone to remove the latest clot of gangrene from the left leg of her son, who might, if all goes well, last out the year. Two assistants hold the patient down, while a third and fourth, with their crude tools, keep open the incision and stare deep into the mysteries of the flesh, as eager for their time with the body as the petrels, kittiwakes, black-headed gulls that tend the hare's remains up here in the near heaven of the dunes, all neck and beak and skirl as they uncoil the intestines turn by turn, divide liver from lung, pick out the heart, squabble over the kidneys. Hauling away whatever they can use, they rise through marram grass, through shifts of sand, and disappear, leaving me here to understand a little more what the dead mean to the living, why every St. Stephen's Day of that decade we lived on the outskirts of town, the same three freckled cousins, wearing straw hats and masks, would bring to our front door a single wren. One of them played a tin whistle, his mud-scabbed fingers missing every third note. Another grinned as he held up their find in a jam jar, while the third, his voice not yet broken, sang a song about that king of birds caught in the furs, that ball of roan and grey feathers, punished because its ancestor had once exposed the patron saint of stonemasons to those who pursued him, simply by singing from the wall the soon-to-be martyr had crouched behind. Like the saint, the bird would suffer a harsh end, not stoned and left out for the hooded crows, but stolen from its hiding place deep in the undergrowth, fated to expire behind that wall of glass, which must have seemed invisible at first, when the boy's cupped hands opened and the bird dropped down into its cage. Half starved as they stood there in old men's clothes, those boys were also part of the cycle and would soon become their fathers, so their fathers could be earth. The oldest one, driving a tractor back and forth from the church, the one who sang hanging dead rooks up in the fields to save the grain, while the youngest boy, the one who held the bird, inherited the title of village drunk and cleared his mother's house of possessions to quench a thirst that would land him face up in the ditch, eyes glazed with a thin layer of ice, dead as the hare struck down here in the dunes, where cold and prone, the pistons of its legs prove no more than flesh and bone. It lies empty as those blue tits Keats shut to clear the air a few days after his brother coughed up phlegm flecked with blood for the last time. Keats, who was months away from his nightingale and further still from Rome, yet as he lowered the gun to watch each ruffle of feathers fall to earth, he felt sure the same blackness that had claimed poor Tom was sprouting in his lungs and would blossom, that his remains would mean no more than a dropped apple to the worms the graveyard birds would yank out of the earth and swallow whole, that he and each of us would end up as coiled muscle in the wings of house sparrows, a dull throb in the robin's fragile heart, dissonance in the hoarse throat of a thrush.